professor as accounting student studying literature. We are fascinated by how poem, something often viewed as emotional and abstract, can address the same ethnical questions that accounting does. So, how do we measure value? How do we own to others? What is the prices of innocence? William Blake's songs of innocence and of experience present exactly this dilemma. Through two constructing poems, The Lamb and the Chimney Sweeper, Blake balanced a moral ledger of human society. Divine creation on one side, social exploitation on the other. It is as if he is conducting a moral audit of his age. According to Romanticism, introduction, romantic poet used emotion and indignation to resist industrial capitalism and religious hypocrisy. Blake transformed poetry into ethnic critique and exposing how economic rationality to distorted human value. So our presentation combined two perspectives, a literacy critical lens showing how Blake's language marks social contradictions, and a business ethnic lens, revealing how his vision anticipates modern accountability and corporate responsibility. And now let's read two poems.
The Lamb by William Blake. Little lamb, who made thee? Dost thou know who made thee? Give thee life, bathe thee feet, by the stream or the mead. Gave thee clothing of the delight, softly clothing woolly bright. Gives thee such a tender voice, making all the views rejoice. Little lamb, who made thee? Dost thou know who made thee? Little lamb, I will tell thee. Little lamb, I will tell thee. He is called by that name, for he calls himself a lamb. He is meek and he is mild. He became a little child. I, a child, thou a lamb. We are called by his name. Little lamb, God bless thee. Little lamb, God bless thee.
In the Lamb, Blake constructs the voice of innocence, but this innocence is not merely sweet. It embodies religious ideology. The child faith reflects how institutional religion teaches altruism while concealing social inequality. His simplicity becomes a subtle form of critical.
When my mother died, I was very young, and my father soothed me while yet my tongues could scarcely cried, "Whip, whip, whip, whip." So the chimneys I sweep, and in soot I slip. There's little Tom Dickory, who cried when his head, that curled like a lamb's back, was shaved. So I said, "Hush, Tom, never mind it, for when your head's bare, you know that soot cannot spoil your white hair." And so he was quiet, and that very night, as Tom was sleeping, he had such a sight that thousands of sweepers, Dick, Joe, Ned, and Jack, were all of them locked up in coffins of black. And by came an angel who had a bright key, and he opened the coffins and set them all free. They donned a green plain, leaping, laughing, they run, and wash in a river and shine in the sun. They naked and white, all their bags left behind, they rise upon cloud and sport in the white. And the angel told Tom, if he'd be a good boy, he had God for his father and never want joy. And so Tom awoke, and we rose in the dark, and got our bags and our brushes to work. Though the morning was cold, Tom was happy and warm. So, if all do their duty, they need not fear harm.
Okay, here innocence collapsed into irony, and the same childlike voice now exposed a society that commodifies the child's body and sanctifies labor through religious lies. And the repetitions, weep, weep, mimics both tears and works, revealing linguistic violence and class operations. Through a mask's lens, the chimney sweeper represents the commodification of the innocence, a body turned into profit and justified by ideology. Religion becomes word as a course is ideological, state apparatus, blessing exploitation as duty. From a reader response perspective, Blake implicates us as readers. Our emotional response is part of poem's maze. Feeling comfort in the land and guilty in the chain sweeper turn reading into an act of moral accountability. So, read together, the 2 points create a dialectic of innocence and experience, a moral economy of gain and loss. So, the lamp's voice, devotion, and faith. The chimney sweeper turns that faith into satire. The same God who gives thee life is the God who permit child labor, and from itself becomes critical. The gentle rhythm of the lamp performs submission, and while the harsh consonants of sweep and sleep perform exploitation. So Black's picnic music is a tool of resistance. So because I'm a student from the major of accounting, so I will explain these 2 points with my major, that is accounting. So from the accounting perspective, if Blank are alive today, he might be a moral accountant. In the lamb, creation embodies non-market value and innocence and trust. In the chimney sweeper, that value is reversed into profits and loss. Gray that from the 1996 that accountability must go beyond numbers to moral responsibility. Blank's poetry performs that audit 2 centuries earlier. It records humanity moral deficit. So, from the accountability, his songs of innocence and experience from a double entry system, the credit of faith and the debit of corruption. Through this leader, poetry becomes an act of aesthetic resistance against capitalists.
If Black were alive today, he might be a moral accountant. In the lamb, creation embodies known market value, innocence, and trust. In the chimney sweeper, that value is reserved into profit and loss. Gray argued that accountability must go beyond numbers to moral responsibility, and Blank's poetry performs that audit 2 centuries earlier. It records humanity's moral deficit. His songs of innocence and experience form a double entry system, the credit of faith and the debit of corruption. Through this leader, poetry becomes an act of ethical resistance against capitalist exploitation, presenting a final balance sheet of our humanity.
Blake turns poetry into mirror for society's soul, an ethnical edit of civilization. His innocent lamb blesses, his chain sweeper accuses, Both ask how we value life and at work cost. In modern accounting, numbers define performance. In Blake's word, language define conscience. To balance the book of humanity, we must record not only profit but loss of innocence. In both poetry and accounting, to balance the numbers is not enough. We must balance the soul. In conclusion, the true balance lies not in the numbers but in the soul. That's all. Thank you for your listening.